DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. We have a great show today. We have Dr. Chuck Fossler, who's a veterinary epidemiologist with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. He's on here to talk about an upcoming cow-calf survey on the National Animal Health Monitoring System that you may be selected to participate in, you may not, but it's always good to learn more about it.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed captioning brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. We have a special guest here today, Dr. Chuck Fossler. He's a veterinarian epidemiologist for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and he's working on a project with the National Animal Health Monitoring System, which is a group you work out of Colorado?
I work out of Fort Collins, Colorado, yes.
It's a great place, beautiful country, and we're lucky enough to have Dr. Fossler take some time out because there's an upcoming cow-calf survey, and I'm like, hey, we got to get the word out, get people participate, and work with y'all at USDA. So let's just start out by what is NAHMS?
NAHMS is part of USDA, part of the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. NAHMS began in 1983 as a series of state pilot projects. And then starting in 1990, we did our first national study. And what we do is national studies on the health and health management of U.S. livestock populations.
Gotcha. So it's been going 20, 30 years.
Right.
And now you've got national.
Yeah, well, we've been doing national studies since the 1990s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've done them on many different.
Right. We started out primarily focused on swine, dairy, beef, but we have branched out into other commodities like sheep and goats and aquaculture, catfish. So we try to cover all livestock species.
Well, I like them all.
Yeah.
So that's great. Appreciate it. Talk to me a little bit about what these, you've got the cow-calf survey upcoming.
Right. Correct.
And when does that commence?
That will start in October of 2017.
Okay.
And it'll start initially, there will be a survey conducted by the National Agricultural Statistics Service conducts the first survey. It's an in-person survey.
Okay.
It's going to consist of 4,000 randomly selected beef cow-calf operations across the U.S.
So then someone could get selected, and then how are they picked?
Well, it's a random selection, but it's in 24 different states.
Okay. So do you have to be registered for something, or is it something that we're already?
Oh, it's chosen off of the list of farms that NASS has, and
Okay.
NASS, of course, does the ag census every 10 years, so they know all the operations in the U.S.
Good. And so, let's hone in a little bit on that. So when they get selected, will they then be notified?
Oh, well, initially they'll get a letter in the mail telling them a little bit about the survey. And then with an indication of when they'll expect to get a call, and then they'll get a call. And if they want to participate, then someone will come out and visit them and administer the survey.
Wow. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Dr. Fossler about this cow-calf survey that's upcoming. You may be one of the people that get a call, and talk a little bit about what you're going to collect, talk about what the surveys are for, more about what NAHMS is doing at USDA with Dr. Chuck Fossler after these messages.
This Prevention Works Minute, brought to you by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica, Inc.
Hey there, folks. Welcome to Prevention Works, as sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica. The reason why we talk about Prevention Works is we want to talk about preventative medicine. What are things that alleviate stress within the life of the animal that'll help the animal have a good immune system? And castration is one of those. The one thing we need to know about castration, regardless of the technique that you use, castrating calves as early as possible in life alleviates the most stress. If we can castrate them at birth or the first time we catch them, definitely by the time they're 3 months of age, at the time of the branding shots before turnout, that will be a huge reduction in stress in that calf's life. There is no performance advantage to leaving those testicles on those calves up till weaning, and if you leave them on till weaning, there's a huge disadvantage because of the stress of castration at the time of arrival at the feedlot, leading to increased morbidity, mortality, and railer rates. So castrate those calves as early as possible.
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
Do your cattle struggle with pink eye, BRD, or another disease? Contact Newport Laboratories for a customized solution. Our custom-made vaccines are produced using the specific diseases found in your area. These USDA licensed vaccines offer potential cost savings on vaccine and labor. Contact your veterinarian or Newport Laboratories the next time your cattle are in need of a custom solution. Newport Laboratories custom-made vaccine, because every situation is different.
This segment brought to you by the new hired hand portable cow sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, here with my guest, Dr. Chuck Fossler from the United States Department of Agriculture, where he serves as a veterinary epidemiologist for the National Animal Health Monitoring System. And Dr. Fossler, you've got an upcoming survey. We've talked about it. So what kind of information is going to be collected in this survey?
Well, we identify the types of information to be collected through a needs assessment process, where we invite stakeholders, producers, industry folks, and others to identify information needs of the industry.
Yep.
And that's usually done by an online survey. And that's how we identify the objectives of the survey and what types of information to be collected.
Okay.
And so one of the things we collect, and we've collected in past surveys as well, is information about beef cow-calf health and management practices. And these are things such as cow health and longevity, calf health, reproductive efficiency, things like that. Specifically, stuff like vaccination practices, calving rates, causes of death, whether operations, trick test bulls, new bulls that arrive on the operation, things like that.
So about everything that has to do with the health and well-being of cattle on farms.
Right.
Yeah, and specifically, I think that, you know, we as veterinarians, I use them all the time. I use the statistics. I help to benchmark our farms and different things to that nature to say, hey, this is normal, or hey, this is a red flag. Something might not be normal. But you know, why do you feel like it's important that producers, when they get the call or they get the letter, don't file 13 the letter and they really jump out and serve?
Yeah, well, it's important to get national estimates. It gives an indication for folks like you or others that work in extension for like educational needs of producers or where the industry can do better. And yeah, it's important to get national estimates to produce, to participate. In addition, we offer some incentives to participate as well.
No taxes. Anyway, I think that there are. I think that when you look at the incentives and things to that nature, one of the incentives for me is just knowing that my production unit is included in that data. For me, that's a huge incentive, just to know that this isn't something that doesn't relate to me. This is something I'm helping create, and I think farmers and ranchers should really relate to that and jump on board. But what are some of the incentives?
Well, there are going to be 2 surveys as part of the study. The first survey will be done by NASS. The second survey will be done by our field folks in veterinary services, and you need to complete both surveys to be able to participate within the incentives.
Okay, and those are?
We're offering a forage test for nutrient analysis, as well
good.
as BVD testing of their spring calf crop.
Oh, well, I think that's an outstanding opportunity, not only for the producers to get, I mean, you look at forage testing and BVD testing, 2 big, one on performance and one on dialing in your animal health programs, and also probably some pretty good data as well for us, for those types of things.
Right.
Let's take a break. We've heard about the survey. We've heard about it coming this fall in October. We've learned some of the incentives, but most importantly, it's our duty to participate in these to get great numbers. More after these messages with Dr. Fossler.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Still using ineffective fly tags on your cattle? It's time to eliminate fleas, ticks, flies, lice, and parasites, and at the same time, give them a shiny coat, making them more valuable. One fly tag can cost $2.50, but you can do this all for about a nickel a head. Introducing the Cow Sprayer, designed and built in the U.S. The Cow Sprayer is portable, solar-powered, and comes with a 25 or 40-gallon tank. Eliminate parasites for about 5 cents a head with the Cow Sprayer. Cowsprayer.com.
Calves require adequate, high-quality colostrum immediately following birth to receive the immune and nutritional support needed to fight diseases and thrive. Next-generation Colostrix colostrum replacer and supplement are USDA licensed to aid in the treatment of failure of passive transfer and contain natural maternal bovine colostrum antibodies against E. coli K99. Ask your animal health supplier for Colostrix or visit agrilabs.com for details. Colostrix makes all systems go.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Chuck Fossler. We're here at Kansas State University shooting DocTalk. Dr. Fossler is a veterinary epidemiologist with the United States Department of Agriculture, specifically within the National Animal Health Monitoring Systems, where y'all are going to do some studies this fall on cow-calf, and you're going to get a letter, potentially 4,000 producers in 24 different states, get a letter, follow it up with a phone call, and then a visit. We've got incentives. How often do you do this? This seems like a massive job.
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of work, but the last time we did a cow-calf study was in 2007.
Okay.
And the one before that was 1997. So lately we've been doing them on about 10-year intervals.
Yeah.
So it's important to participate because they don't come along that often.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at some of these and you start to think about how long, this is going to be a pretty extensive set of questions, I assume.
Yes. Yeah.
And would it be, can you look back at some of the old surveys maybe if I get selected to maybe kind of look at some of the types of questions to make sure I have the right information for you, or will you be mailed it and then have someone come on site?
Generally, well, our questionnaires will be available online so that people can look at them. Otherwise, I don't think they'll be mailed a questionnaire before the survey.
Well, I just want to make sure that, you know, when someone's coming in, I might not have the exact answer, but I want to make sure I get it right. And so developing that relationship, obviously having a veterinary client-patient relationship is important, and that might stimulate some of them. When you guys do a study at USDA, how do you provide the national estimates, or what's the process after you get the data collected?
Well, I mean, the first step is that we do a random selection of operations, so that's important.
You got to remember, Dr. Fossler is an epidemiologist. So properly selecting randomly, so you aren't targeting any troublemakers or anything. All right, okay, I want to make sure. Because I got a few on the list I can share with you. But anyway, so you get a random selection, you get the survey results, then what happens?
Another way that we get national estimates is that we have people working out in all of the states that we'll be collecting data from.
Okay.
So we have people already in the states. So that makes it a lot easier for us to administer national studies.
Okay, so then they'll bring the data in.
Right.
You and your staff will crunch the numbers, and then...
Yeah, it goes through an extensive validation process to make sure the data, and then we do kind of sophisticated statistical analyses of the data as well.
And then how do those come out? Is there a general report system that comes out, or will it come out online, or how will producers know that the information's done or that the survey's done?
All of our reports appear online. Okay. Producers can also request hard copies of them as well.
Oh, okay. And so utilizing this, it's one of those things, like you said, I use them all the time, especially when I'm putting together presentations or things to share with producers or veterinarians or different groups. It's a huge service to us, and I really, really appreciate it. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do a wrap-up with Dr. Fossler here in just a few moments.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
I'm Tom Perrier. Our ranch is called Dale Banks Angus. Dale Banks is not a person, but it's a place. This ranch was started by my great-grandfather. He came from northwest England, and his farm there was called Dale Banks, and so he called his ranch here in the Flint Hills Dale Banks. The beef checkoff today has fulfilled a lot of needs that our industry had over the years. We were very involved in trying to get the beef checkoff passed back in the 70s and early 80s because we saw the need then, and the beef checkoff, I think, has fulfilled a lot of those needs.
I think some of the biggest bonuses that we've gotten from the beef checkoff in the last 20 years have been twofold, both in the research phase of the industry, one being the Beef Quality Assurance Program that showed us just how much money we could capture by simply doing things like moving the injection sites from the hip and rump of the animal up to the neck, where we had less high-valued cuts. That drove millions of dollars into our industry. The other thing that our beef industry did about 15 years ago was embark on new product development, things like the flat iron steak and things that used to get ground into hamburger and other low-valued cuts today are sold for a premium, and that too, just like the Beef Quality Assurance Program, has driven huge dollars into our industry that we all get to share.
Matt's the primary driver behind the operation right now, and he's the 6th generation, and his children will be the 7th generation.
I hope our kids are better at telling our beef industry's story. I think the last several years the beef checkoff has shown us how to do that better. They've given us some tools to do that, so we need to do a better job of telling the wonderful story that we have, and I hope our kids can continue to do that.
Still using ineffective fly tags on your cattle? It's time to eliminate fleas, ticks, flies, lice, and parasites, and at the same time, give them a shiny coat, making them more valuable. One fly tag can cost $2.50, but you can do this all for about a nickel a head. Introducing the Cow Sprayer, designed and built in the U.S. The Cow Sprayer is portable, solar-powered, and comes with a 25 or 40-gallon tank. Eliminate parasites for about 5 cents a head with the Cow Sprayer. Cowsprayer.com.
It's easy to spot the man who uses Synanthic. With lower volume and less waste, Synanthic steps up your deworming routine. Get more deworming with less dewormer at Synanthic.com.
Beringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Inc. knows the importance of beef quality assurance and asks you to step up and get certified. Go to bqa.org for details.
In the springtime, cattlemen need to be thinking of preventing important diseases like pink eye. Pink eye prevention includes management factors like good fly control, pasture management, along with a good vaccination program. Eyesight from AgriLabs has broad efficacy coverage as its origin from 8 different field isolates of Moraxella bovis. It is safe, smooth, highly syringeable, safe with young calves and pregnant cows, and provides superior protection against pink eye.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Chuck Fossler, who is a DVM PhD and a veterinary epidemiologist for the National Animal Health Monitoring System with the United States Department of Agriculture. And so where do we find the NOMS information? So once the survey is complete, where are we going to find that information?
All of our reports appear on our website, online. It's the easiest way to find our website is to just go to Google and type in NAHMS, NOMS.
NAHMS, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the timeline, because folks, we really want you to participate when you get the letter, if you get a letter. Talk to us again. October's when the selection?
Right, and that's when the surveys will start to be administered.
Okay.
And then for producers that are willing to have another survey administered, those will start in mid-January, and they'll involve another visit to the operation, and it'll be an in-person survey.
Okay, so is the October and the January, are they both in person? Or?
Right, yeah, they're both in person.
Okay.
Yeah. And that second survey will go from mid-January through mid-April.
Okay.
And producers will have, they're eligible to have, if they want to have BVD testing, they'll have until July 1st, calves born up to July 1st in order to send those samples in.
Okay, and will they be working with diagnostic laboratories or things like that?
It'll be producer-collected ear notches, and they'll all be sent to a centralized lab.
Okay, great. So again, it might be something that they'll want to work with their veterinarian, make sure they're selecting, because will you also be able to, like, if I don't have, will it just be the calf crop, or can I do the open animals on the farm as well?
It's designated for the calf crop. It's to detect PI animals.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now, January, April, then you all will get the data, and then it's off to the races getting the survey results.
Yeah.
Things for us. Okay. Now, you mentioned you've done some other surveys in the past. What are some of the ones that kind of come to your mind as far as USDA and service towards our industries?
Some of the surveys we've done in the, like in the 2007 dairy survey, we did Johne's disease testing and basically determined that most all dairies in the U.S. have some Johne's disease present on the operation.
Well, I think that when you add something to it like BVD testing, forage testing, one of the things for me as a veterinarian trying to get my producers to forage test is they either think they have better hay than they do.
Oh, right.
And when we start to talk about this fetal programming of calves and providing proper nutrition and being able to dial in our supplements. It's one that we did a show on forage testing, a couple of them. Patrick Gunn at Iowa State, and then with BVD, we've done quite a few shows on BVD. So I think you're going to learn as much maybe from those studies as you will from the surveys.
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah.
I think it'd be very interesting too, some of the things that you'll find out now with the new veterinary feed directive, how that might have changed some of the practices.
Right, yeah, I think it will too. Yeah.
Any last words?
When you get the letter, I hope you decide to participate.
Well, I do too, folks. Dr. Chuck Fossler, you have a person right here that's in charge and taking care of your data, helping promote animal health through the United States Department of Agriculture. Thanks for watching DocTalk today. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian, and if you want to find out more about what we do at DocTalk, you can find us at www.doctalktv.com. Thanks for watching DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here at Kansas State University, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. A high-energy, drought-tolerant crop, sorghum only requires 6 inches of water to produce the first bushel. And with its wide uses and easy adaptation, sorghum proves to be a truly indispensable crop. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses in rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery. And so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results with stem cell injections, but at about 3 to 3.5 months, I started to feel better. I started to have less pain and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.